everybody. It is match week 12. This is the Richmond Gooners podcast, coming to you live from Gus's Bar and Grill. I am Ryan here with Tom.
Hello, hello.
And with Joey.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
let them off the hook.
Well, they were never really on the hook, but it's Liverpool. It's away. I think there was a lot of differing opinions how this was going to go pregame, but in the end, it kind of went the way a lot of people feared it might. But,
there was a lot of opinions that we were not going to get points, and then there was my opinion. Turns out I was the crazy one. So
I mean, I think most are predicting either a loss or a close fought loss, or
high stakes draw.
yeah, and it ended up being a beatdown, but a beatdown. It wasn't until it was. I mean, that sounds stupid as hell. He's 29 until he's 30, whatever.
That's the way it works, though.
That is the way it works, and it was competitive for about 50 minutes, and then it wasn't. So we'll kind of go through all that. I'm going to admit right now that the internet crashed about halfway through, so my notes are wanting. So this is going to be a bit more of a wander than it normally is.
Yeah.
But
we waffle a lot.
So let's start with the lineups. I mean, we came out looking pretty much, I think, how we all expected that we would look. The only question mark maybe is in hindsight, maybe Tierney could have gotten a start. But I mean, Tavares has been balling for weeks.
Yeah.
And Tierney's coming back from injury, so you understand that.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for it because I expect it will happen. But also, I'm annoyed because I know it will happen. The number of people that are going to say that Tavares sucks because he made a mistake and he's a flop and we should sell him, as some people who badge themselves Arsenal supporters are wont to do. I just want to go on the record as saying that is stupid.
That will come from the corners of fandom that you expected from, and we don't give that anymore.
That is stupid, and you are stupid if you think that.
Right. And, Liverpool came in with a couple of injuries. I mean, obviously, you've got Firmino still out, Robertson still out, but they look pretty much how we expected them to line up as well.
Yeah.
And, for the first, honestly, almost the entirety of the first half, it looked really competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was maybe, it felt to me a little bit like they might have been, just feeling us out and we were going all out, but even so, it looked good. We had chances here and there, but it just didn't pan out. And so
we were strong.
Yeah.
It's
for the majority of the first half.
The first half, outstanding, because they kept challenging down Tomiyasu. They kept coming at that side, and all I kept thinking was, please, if you want to attack that side of the field, do it. Tomiyasu will defend.
And Tavares did well. He kept Salah in his pocket for the majority of the game, actually.
Yeah.
It was that last bit.
Yeah.
And he, in his defense, in Tavares' defense, the whole team kind of gave up. And
after that goal, yeah.
Yeah, and he well, here's the problem. KT should have started. Tavares likes to get forward. He's aggressive. He does not like to defend. He's one of those classic guys that he likes to get in the final third, and there's the old expression about everyone likes to come to the party, but no one likes to clean up.
Yeah.
Tavares, he obviously prefers to attack, and I think if we gotten KT in there, he would have. Look, in the second half, Liverpool, they came at us on that side,
and
did well.
They did well, but I think that Tavares was at fault for the goal because it was an ill-advised back pass and he basically kicked it straight to Diogo Jota. But I think that defensively he actually did a good job. Salah was quiet until he got his goal in the 80-something minute.
Salah was so quiet.
I thought Tavares did a really, really good job on him, and I still believe in Tavares, and I still think that he's a good player. He's like 12 years old, so of course he's going to make a mistake like that every now and then. You know what I mean?
The other thing, too, is that, I don't know what Tierney's fitness level was. I mean, he's still coming back from that injury, and, who knows how he looked in training. I mean, it's possible that, the thing we know, I think at this point, what we know about Arteta is he's going to go with the guys who have been playing well.
That's always been his thing.
As long as maybe today changes his mind and Tierney starts next Saturday, but, I feel like he gives guys leash until that happens.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I also in hindsight, I think you're not wrong. He might have been more stout defensively, but I just don't think it was going to happen based on the way the team's being run.
Yeah, I don't think we would have got a different result if Tierney had started.
Well, maybe not, but
Oh, see, I take exception to that. I think if Tierney started,
we tired.
No,
or
we
win.
lose 2-0 instead of 4-0.
Oh, so my saying is I don't think we got a different result as far as win, loss, or draw.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was unclear.
We still would have lost.
Yeah.
We still would have lost.
different.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Because, and that's a whole shift. We didn't score, and this is my thing that I was worried about was that we don't score on hardly anyone. And
How do we score against Liverpool?
Yeah, because no one does.
I mean, we had some chances though, especially in the first 30 to 35 minutes of the game.
Oh man, that one that was called for offside, I was like, that is classic Arsenal
That's
football.
Arsenal. Yeah, that's the
it's
goal.
Arsenal football, and
We actually looked the more threatening side, I felt, for the first maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think part of that was that Liverpool was just kind of trying to get a feel for what we were doing.
Yeah,
honestly,
feeling us
I don't
out.
want to say they were fucking with us, but they were kind of fucking with us.
No, they were feeling us out.
They were trying to see what our
It's-
strategy going forward was going to be.
it's kind of a shame. Sorry to cut you off, but I hope that the conversation being had tonight is why do we look so sharp early doors and then fade? Because I get it, they're Liverpool, they're European champions, they're league champions, but to hang so closely and give us this glimmer of hope,
Yeah.
and then just to capitulate.
The tactical changes that they made at halftime, we were unable to cope with. They raised their intensity exponentially, I felt, from halftime to, maybe 50 minutes. That first 10 minutes after halftime, they raised their intensity. And I think if you look at Klopp teams, you'll see that once they lose the ball and their opponents have the ball, they'll press for a few seconds and then they drop off because they don't want to get hit on the counter so much. They began to press until they got the ball back. So they went from pressing for 3 to 4 seconds after they lost the ball to pressing for like 10 to 15 seconds. And then if it was clear they weren't going to get the ball back, then they would drop back. But they pressed. It raised their. It sounds weird for Liverpool, but they raised their pressing game to levels that insane levels right after halftime, and that intensity that they brought, we were really unable to cope with, and I thought that was part of our undoing. And then Tavares' mistake happened, and then we dropped our heads. And
right, that's the manner in which the second goal was given up. I think that was the backbreaker, because
it was very defeating.
It'd be one thing if they just had a flash of brilliance of Mane down the middle to a streaking Salah.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Then you can say, look, that was going to happen. It's Mane and Salah.
But we
the
gave
fact
him a
that,
gift.
The fact that we just gave away a goal, it's like, oh man, here we go.
Right.
I think that's just human nature, and especially with younger teams and some of our guys. Tavares specifically being younger, it's like, oh man, that leads two things. First, it's oh man, we gave it away, and then it's like, oh, I got to make up for it. And so now you have yourself overrunning things and trying to outdo yourself to make up for that mistake, which leads to more mistakes. And I think that's where it snowballs.
Yeah. And speaking of Mane, he was a real dickhead today. He committed probably 4 yellow card offenses. Got 1 yellow card. He was diving all over the place and just generally bitching. And the thing about Mane is, I respect his game. He doesn't need that does not need to be part of his game, because he's just better than everybody. Without that, that's what pisses me off about Mane sometimes so much. I would understand if you suck and if you're just not a good player, or if you're a bang average player and you do that to try to get in people's heads or whatever. But Mane is so good, he just doesn't need that in his game, and it's really frustrating to see. It's like a 23-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. When you saw him dive, you're like, you're the best player in the world. Stop.
What are you doing?
Stop it. Yeah. And honestly, you could probably score if you just stayed on your feet for half an inning.
Well, that was Salah up until about 18 months ago.
That was Salah. He's kind of taken a lot of it. He still does every now and then.
Yeah.
He's taken a lot of it out of his game. Yeah. And it seems like he's taken it out of his game and given it directly to Sadio Mane. Yeah. It's so frustrating to see that, because of how good he is. And yes, I do hold him to a higher standard because of his skill level. Yeah. I just had to get that off my chest.
No, fair enough.
and what I enjoyed seeing was that they kept, in their first half, Liverpool was really pushing the ball to Sane to come at Tomiyasu. Sorry, Mane.
We've all been doing that all day. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
But Tomiyasu was outstanding.
That's what I was just really bringing up. Yeah. I mean,
and they kept coming at him, and he can head the ball away. we were poking the ball away from them.
Yes.
The first half, we were so impressive.
I was really
away.
inspired by the
Poking the
defending
ball
that we were
away.
doing.
Yeah, like defensive positioning.
Ben White, everybody. I thought
A 0-0 draw would have been a really good result for us from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, my glimmer of hope was if we come out of here scoreless or 1-1.
I would have been very happy with that.
Yeah.
I would take that. And I'm sure Liverpool fans are out there going, it was all us. We had you under siege, and we were firing shots at you, and it was all us. It was all us. And I get that. Again, European champions, league champions. But we were doing really well defending. And it felt satisfying because finally we can defend.
Well, and it's not just defend, but that we can make stuff of it. I mean, there was a point where it was pretty early, the 7th minute, I want to say. Like Tomiyasu picked it off of somebody and then sent it like deep all the way over the top to Saka, who almost cut it in and scored on that, if not for just a lack of space to finish.
Of options, yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, there was a point where Mane was just trying to do like a Pepe kind of dance, where he's trying to like shake Tommy on the touchline.
Yeah, Tomiyasu breathed on him too hard. He held his ground. He didn't go for any of the fakes, and eventually when Mane finally made a move, he just dinked it away. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he's just so sound as far as not falling for stuff. And
one-on-one defending, he's so good in all areas of the game, but one-on-one defending is probably his best attribute.
Yeah, but then he can take. It's not just because a year ago we solved our leaky defense, but then we couldn't get the ball forward.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to get the ball forward from our defense. It's just the final third that we have to work on.
Yeah.
So it's baby steps.
And we have a lot of youth as well.
Yeah.
So our project right now is youth. It's high potential youth mixed with some veterans like Alba and Laka and Party and guys like that. But
and Sterling, if we're to believe the rumors.
Yeah, Sterling, if we're to believe.
High Potential Youth, the new album by Outkast.
That's just more like the album by R.
High
Kelly.
potential youth.
Yes, it would be the R. Kelly album.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Wow.
No. So y'all killing me with this shit, man. Y'all killing me. Fuck R. Kelly.
So Ramsdale, holy Moses.
Yeah. I mean, second week in a row.
That boy could save the Titanic.
Yeah.
All he's gonna do is reach out with a pinky finger, and that bitch will still be floating.
Yeah.
I felt badly.
He could save Harvey Weinstein from being canceled.
I'm glad he had that huge smile. That was a moment in the game for me when he I forgot who shot he saved. It was Jota, I think.
I think it was Jota.
So, yeah.
And he saved, and he just had this huge smile. Kind of like fighters.
Yeah.
If you watch a boxing match, that's a fighter does that. Like, is that all you got?
Yeah.
And then
Turns out it wasn't all they had, but
yeah,
still.
at the
exactly.
time it
But I
wasn't.
love that. You got to be a little bit kooky to be a goalkeeper. He gives me some Jens Lehmann energy, some Jens Lehmann energy. Just that crazy motherfucker, and I like that about Ramsdale. And he's a supremely likable lad. Supremely likable.
Well, especially
you want your
considering,
goalkeeper to be a little bit fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I like that he has a little bit of that about him.
Well, and like all the negative energy surrounding. I hate to say energy, but like to a man, most people were kind of wondering why we brought him in, why we pay so much. Look where he came from, look how they did. I mean, a lesser.
Not me.
Fair.
The I don't want to be chastised by Tom again, but yeah.
No, let's put it this way: a large percentage of people were going, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And he didn't let that weigh on him. He just said, "I'm going to show up and I'm going to go to work," and he proved to all of us who thought we did the wrong thing wrong.
And I hope that people like Rob. I hope that people can now understand that really elite players can exist on bad teams.
Yeah.
That is a thing that is possible.
One of the positives I think I took away from the game was all of our signings. I think a lot of us we didn't know who Sammy Lakonga was, and today we saw every one of our new signings, all of them positive.
I thought they played well. I mean, Nuno Tavares made the mistake, but
he was
you almost
excellent.
expect that from him at his age,
Right.
and he bar that mistake, he was really, really good.
Yeah. And
Maybe
he's been really good
even
for
our
weeks.
best player, if you take out that mistake, our best player maybe on the day,
And let's maybe pivot off of that.
Once again, it's almost like man of the match, other than Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Other than Ramsdale, it's
Yeah.
kind of like who was the best band member of Van Halen tonight, other than Eddie.
Yeah,
Other than
besides
Eddie,
Eddie,
exactly.
And Ramsdale was godlike.
Yeah.
He was a superhero. He was.
It might have been 10-0.
Yeah, I mean the 29th
Yes.
minute he makes 3 saves on one attack.
Holy Moses! In the first half when Mane comes in and then he falls down and we thought he would smother it,
And then he didn't, and then he saved it a second time, and then he got another attack on it. He gets a pinky finger on it to send it aside. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just he there's no quit. He's not ever going to be like, oh man, I didn't catch it. He's always fighting till the last.
I hope he's here for the next 15 years until he's 40.
I got a text from my mentor who's a Leeds fan, and he said Ramsdale for England.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
easy.
Pickford has not been strong for a while.
Pickford
now.
is so overrated. In my opinion, I think it should be a combination of or back and forth of Ramsdale and Nick Pope.
Yeah.
Maybe Dean Henderson as a third. I'm not even sure if Pickford should even be in the setup. He's good at kicking. That's about it. He's a decent shot stopper, but he's not better than the other three. He's certainly not better than Ramsdale and Pope as far as pure shot stopping ability.
Yeah.
Because shot stopping ability is not even the best thing he does as a goalkeeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the one thing he struggles still a little bit is his distribution, but that'll come together.
Yeah, there were a few today where he decided to play it long, and it was just
he'll
to
admit
nobody.
that too. He'll admit that.
Yeah.
I remember he was talking to the media a couple games ago. It was a win, but he was like, "Yeah, we played well." He was like, "My kicking wasn't really there, and it's something that I'm working on."
And as a fan, I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah.
It is. There's so much upside. I go fuck that. Yeah.
Well,
it's
and like
fine.
you look
It's
at-
fine. Your distribution, I don't care. You're so good on other things.
And you look at the last few, top choice keepers we've had, Leno, check. Like, they all had glaring deficiencies, and they were all older.
Yeah.
This guy has more room to grow.
Yeah.
And it's a much less glaring deficient. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like Czech, where when the ball's at his feet, we all crinkled our buttholes.
Oh man.
Remember
when he almost kicked it in our net?
Yeah, yeah. And you go,
It was about
not
this
doing,
far
yeah.
from being an own goal.
Yeah, and so if you're going to have a deficiency, distribution is probably the least damaging one to have.
Yeah.
And to your point, he can address that, and he will, I think, because he's.
I don't know.
acknowledged it,
I
he's
don't know
ready
what
to.
your notes have, but I would love to have a conversation about Aubameyang and Lacazette today, because I think more than anything, I know a lot of other podcasts are out there talking about this team, but I guarantee they're not talking about Lacazette and they're not talking about Aubameyang. They're going to talk about Ben White and how he had that slide tackle that missed, allowed for Diogo Jota, but.
I mean, I don't blame that really on anybody but Tavares, because they should have never been put in that position. But also, I think you make a valid point. I thought Lacazette was decent today. I thought Aubameyang was basically invisible.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he demanded enough of the ball, because if he's other strikers, and I love Aubameyang, but other strikers will.
We all do.
Other strikers will come back and say, "Give me the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking ball and let me make something happen." And I don't think he did quite enough of that. I thought Lacazette
Caught himself offside a few times.
Yeah, offside a few times. I think Lacazette did a little bit of that, of demanding the ball, and generally when he gets it, his hold-up play he's the best hold-up player on the entire
Yes,
team.
he is.
Yeah.
And I thought he did that fairly well today. I thought that Smith Rowe, and I think another thing that we won't talk about because we love Smith Rowe so much, but Smith Rowe, there was like 3 to 5 times where he just stopped his run, where
Yeah.
he just stopped his run, and and then we played the ball to him, and I'm like, and that's unlike him. Like, why are you stopping your run? He had an off day today, and as much as we love him, and as great as he has been, we need to acknowledge when he has off days.
Is that from spending the week with
England?
England?
Yeah.
Probably,
Or,
because he played.
Yeah.
He played in the
I
league,
don't think
you
it's
know?
that he's tired. I think, you just get, there is something to be said for spending a few weeks in a row working with the same guys doing the same stuff that you get to
And
like
different
anticipate.
tactics than we have.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so you spend a week doing something totally off the book from what we do. You might not be anticipating what, Saka's going to play you.
played-
And,
he
and,
played
and it's
part-
his first time with the senior team, so
Yeah.
it's not like, and yes, he played with the youth teams, but I think that's a good point. I think that takes some getting used to.
Yeah. The back and forth and
Yeah.
the
So
different systems.
I think if Partey goes to Ghana and does it, he can come back to his club because he's old enough and he's been through it so
Yeah.
many times that he can kind of flip a switch and go back to Arsenal tactics.
Right.
Or when he was at Atletico, go back to Atletico tactics. And I just don't know if Emil Smith Rowe has that switch yet where he
Yeah.
can
Yeah. It'll
immediately
come.
go
It'll come.
back. It will absolutely come, but I think that's a really good point that you raised.
But to your point, Tom, about Alba and Laka. So if we agree that Laka has been the better for us all around, I mean, is the solution a January, move for Sterling?
A sale. I love Raheem Sterling. I'm a big fan.
I would totally take him.
I loved him at QPR. He's a great player. Yeah, I would take him. I would take him at Arsenal. He's proven himself on multiple levels.
Yeah.
I think he improves us. I would if I bring in Raheem Sterling, I'll tell you, I will play him at forward.
Yeah.
I play him at forward.
At center forward?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
at this point, because we've already got Odegaard getting squeezed out of the lineup by Smith Rowe, and rightfully so. But then at what point, because I don't think we sell Alba in January.
No, and I don't think there are any takers. I think
Right.
the only takers right now, as far as I'm aware, are for Lacazette, and I don't know how many there are. And the problem is, and we've probably talked about this before, Lacazette has great hold-up play. He tracks back. He does a lot of things that a lot of strikers refuse to do.
Yeah.
There are a lot of strikers that are like, look, I bang in goals.
Yeah.
I don't do windows. And Aubameyang, unfortunately, is that guy. And if I'm Arteta, I'm looking at him going, okay, you had 2 chances today, but you side-footed it, and they were weak. And
you played yourself offsides twice.
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, oh my days, it's
And they were both when he was looking across the line.
Yeah.
right.
It's one thing if the line is to your back, but when you're looking across
Yeah, you
the line,
gotta know where it is.
You shouldn't be outside.
I'm a huge admirer of Lacazette. Alexander Lacazette, I can rarely look at him and say you had a bad game.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
He's the, what's the term? Prototypical. He's like, if he doesn't score, he still involves himself
He's
in other
influencing
things.
the game, yeah.
Almost, and here we're going to alienate some people, but like if you're a basketball player and if your shot is not hot, you just find other ways to get yourself involved in the game, and that's what he does. He's got fantastic link-up play. He also tracks back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some.
Well, he's got a motor. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
stop. He's like an old Martinelli.
Yeah, that's
They both just run until they can't run anymore, and that's. As we saw last year with Martinelli, that gets the team playing harder to a certain degree.
It's a shame because I think as far as I understand, I've never played striker. I'll never play striker, but a lot of being striker is mental. It's catching that hot streak.
Yeah.
And with Aubameyang, he'll get there, and it's early. It's not even December yet. We have a long way to go.
And we have a lot of season to go.
And some of our hardest fixtures are behind us. You look at the first 2 or 3 weeks. With dudes hurt.
So we've already played City, Chelsea, and Liverpool.
And 2 of them away.
Away.
All away.
Oh, I don't know.
Chelsea was home,
at home, maybe.
But City and Liverpool played
No,
away.
no. They were all away.
They're all away. So there you go.
So going back. Oh God, sorry.
I was just going to finish it with, I think with Aubameyang, I don't know. I don't know if this is like a subtopic. Do we bench him? Because I think we brought this up before, where if you bench him, I feel like he's the kind of player that if you bench him, he will just sink lower.
Yeah, it won't motivate him. It'll knock him down.
And it kind of, I don't want to sound like a lot of the other guys in my age range that hate when players publish all kinds of stuff on Snapchat and Instagram, but when he comes in and he's like, 50, I'm not going to imitate his laugh, and he's like, and you just want to go, man, for a guy that has a lot of opportunities to score, standard opportunities, and to do a lot of shit, you should probably be humble and not get out there.
But that to me, that's like.
But you were like, I don't want to sound like those guys, and you sounded exactly like.
Yeah,
those
you're
guys.
right. You're right.
But also,
right.
as much as goalies. I'm sorry, a lot of hockey fans. Sometimes it
Yeah.
happens. As much as keepers are kind of
Hockey.
crazy. Yeah, strikers are also kind of full of themselves sometimes.
But also,
and they feel it.
regardless of how you're doing on the pitch, you have a right to be yourself
And be confident.
and live your fucking life outside the pitch.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
I will never have time for that argument.
Well,
as
like,
much
the
as I
thing is,
love you and I agree with a lot of the shit you say, I just don't have time for that argument. And I love that Alba will be himself, whether he is banging in the goals or whether he's not.
Right.
Because the last thing I want is for him to fundamentally change who he is and go into a fucking depression because he's not scoring
And
goals.
also, like, after a game like this, training on Monday might not be fun, but if you got him coming in there trying to, with his big-ass smile or whatever.
I think that's his leadership style. He tries to create and foster positivity.
Positive. Yeah.
And I think they tried it. It won't work on some players. I think they tried it with Guendouzi. They tried to be positive around him, and he was still a dickbag, and he got shipped out.
By the way, for a moment of Guendouzi, so the guy, what are the odds on him being the one who shit on somebody for France? I mean, it's high, right? It's really high.
All right, who are we calling for that?
Is Guendouzi or Pogba?
Well, actually, I don't want to spoil the party, and that's one of my favorite Beatles songs. I don't want to spoil the party, but that journalist said that I never said that, and people were saying that I said that. And to double up,
my guess was going to be probably Pogba or dark horse Kimpembe as a dark horse.
I was going to say Benzema because he was already into underage chicks. I'm like, if he's into underage chicks, what are the fucking odds that he's... Damn it, I was the first one to curse.
I was going to say, I cursed
a
million times. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure I can personally make that correlation, but hey, listen.
In any case,
I'm no expert on sexual deviancy, I guess.
No.
Jean Memonio, if you're out there listening.
Get Sean on the phone. Let's call him in.
What I call him, the human embodiment of thirst.
Thirst, yes.
So I just want to touch back on, I made a note here, I want to touch back on Raheem Sterling. Now, the reason that I would take him is because his best years for Man City were when Arteta was Pep's number 2. That was his best times at Man City. And I believe if he were to come and join Arsenal, I would have high hopes that they could recreate similar magic. And also, I think he would be put in similar positions to succeed under Arteta as a manager that he was, back when Arteta was Pep's, number 2 or what have you.
Well, and if somehow we can, So this again is where no European football just absolutely kills us. Is playing time for everybody, But I mean, to your point, he's much younger than Alba.
We didn't see Pepe today.
I was surprised we didn't. I was figuring in 70th minute Pepe comes on for somebody up top.
I wanted to see him come on for Saka.
Yeah.
There were 2 people today that I spoke to in person that said I would love to see Pepe come in.
Yeah.
And
was I one of them?
No,
was somebody else.
No one listening cares. But
it was that guy.
It's because Pepe brings an element of danger, and we didn't have. We had a lot of danger early doors.
Yeah.
But in the second half, man, it just seemed like Saka and Emil Smith Rowe in particular just kind of tuned out.
Yeah.
And
I think they weren't getting enough of the ball.
Well, and to that point, let's talk about Thomas Partey. Do we think that he just wasn't quite ready to go when they pushed him out there? Because he was invisible today.
Yeah, I don't know that it was that he wasn't ready to go, because I thought Sambi Lokonga, when he was in the game, didn't really put a foot wrong. He had a lot of the ball, and he did really good getting out of tight situations, being pressed by Liverpool's midfielders.
Yeah.
I thought he was. Yeah, I agree, Tom. I thought he was absolutely excellent in the first half, and we just kept going to him. I think Partey just didn't see a lot of the ball. Neither did Emil Smith Rowe, because Emil Smith Rowe, he gets the ball and he runs directly at the defense, and it's like they panic. And I was like, I wanted to see some of that. And then they handled Bukayo Saka really well. They really crowded him. They also kicked the shit out of him and fouled him a lot of times. Mane being one of them, because he was a real dickbag today. But I don't know. There were a few players in the team that I would have liked to see us play through them a little bit more, and Thomas Partey is definitely one of those.
So you think it was just a matter of that Lokonga was
in the right spots at the right times?
Yeah. And not so much that Partey was staying back.
I don't think so, because Lokonga was playing. They were playing deep midfield, but Lokonga, if I'm facing the opponent goal, Lokonga was playing on the left side of deep midfield, and Partey was playing on the right side of deep midfield, and we just happened to have the ball in lots of cases. Like Tavares had a lot of the ball, Gabriel had a lot of the ball, and naturally they're going to go to two left-footed players are going to go towards the left as opposed to the right.
Well, to your point, Tom, where like the defense was just poking stuff away and was just so well positioned, I think that's where they were going, and so it's naturally going to land on that side of the pitch as well.
I thought Partey did a lot of really good defensive work.
Yeah.
And so he played actually a little tiny bit deeper than Lokonga. So Partey was doing some of the poking away, and naturally the ball goes towards Lokonga when he's the only person in the base, and Partey's more so in the defense at that time.
It's a tough call sometimes because if someone goes invisible,
is it their fault or is it
right? Are they shrinking away from the ball?
Right.
I don't think Partey was recoiling from the ball, and
I don't think he ever does.
And he played well overall. He just, I don't know how much the team was trying to get the ball to him.
I don't think we were at all.
Well, and I think part of that is that because that Liverpool was coming at us so relentlessly, I think it was a matter of just just clear it out and let it land where it may.
Yeah.
And
so
it wasn't a conscious decision to play it through one guy or another.
So there was a lot of, listen, let's just get it out of here however we can.
Yeah.
There was a lot of long clearances today where usually we would try to pass the ball through our deep midfield players, whether it be any combination of Xhaka, Partey, Lokonga, Mainsley, Elneny. We usually try to pass through those players when breaking up our opponent's play, and today we didn't do a whole hell of a
I was shocked when Elneny came in as a sub.
Yeah, that was
because according to reports, he's basically gone in January. You know?
Well, not just that, but all right.
What is he? I mean, at that point, it's just you're getting.
I think we're
3-0
down. I would just go for a more aggressive lineup, and I would bring in someone that can score. Whether it's, I don't know if Balogun was on the bench, but bring in Martinelli, someone. But
I mean, at that point, you're just giving people rest. Like you're not really.
Yeah, he came on for Partey, right?
Yeah.
I definitely want to protect Partey in that scenario. We've lost the game.
So we've
lost the game.
We're stemming the bleeding. It was.
Yeah, it's just like, look, this one's over. Let's not run the dude into the ground who's just back from injury.
Right.
And
I agree with
you're not
that.
wrong though. We could have brought on an attacker and just gone for it, but then it could have ended up 5-0.
But you're not, and also you're not wrong in that. I understood why it was done, but also it's very uninspiring.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that second point, uninspiring, is as a fan, you see.
I totally get it because I don't want Partey to be hurt for the future. Take him off. I agree with that, but also it's like, fuck, man.
And then he's coming on, and you're just gonna go like, look, he's just gonna park himself in front of the back four, and he's good. He's very, very good at that.
Yeah.
And of course he launches these long range bangers.
Yeah.
And I would have.
He's a better long distance shooter than Thomas Partey. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, so am I. So
my dead man is a better distance shooter than Thomas Partey, but
not many people have. So it was interesting to see that was a choice. I guess for me, 3 takeaways today. We were very, very tight. We were right in there with them.
Yeah.
It's. I'm going to make my second boxing reference. We were in there.
So we got knocked to the floor.
And here's what really stinks is that
it's an immediate, when you get knocked down, it's immediate like 10-8 round in boxing. You know what I mean?
And if it had been Salah, if Salah had done a solo goal and dribble past whoever,
you take that.
There's nothing we can do.
You take that because he's that guy.
There's no
he's that
one,
guy.
Whether it's Real, I don't even know who's the top of the Champions League right now. There's no team in whatever like those dickhead Twitter accounts that are like CFC mads.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been Chelsea fan for 8 months. And
it's kind of like Chelsea fan and their profile pictures in Mbappe or something.
Yeah.
Yes, those are the best. That is absolutely
there's so many of those.
Or they're like, I'm a Man United fan and my profile picture is Sergio Ramos. So where I'm going with this is that we were we were
right there for like 50 minutes.
Yes, and what is it? Where do we fall apart? It's a mental thing, and I don't know if that's managing. I don't know if that's just player mentality. And
I think it's very heartbreaking and very disheartening when you handle them well for so long, and then a goal like Diogo Jota's goal happens where Tavares gives it. It's just so defeating.
Yeah. Because when Ben White does a slide tackle that misses, and then Aaron Ramsdale
comes in and misses,
and it's like
that's how good Jota is. I think people downplay how good he is. He's really good.
They put the graphic on the screen. The guy, I think he has more goals than appearances.
Yeah.
Against Arsenal.
Yep.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like if anyone's listening, I would gladly accept the L.
Yeah.
Like, he only has 4 and 5, so that's not more than. But it's enough to make you go.
He scores every fucking time.
Scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mikel Arteta, you point at Diogo Jota and go, mind him.
Well, but I mean,
And
yes,
we did mind him.
We did.
The
But
only
also,
goal
you have to mind
he scored
Mane,
was a
and you have to
gift.
mind Salah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's
Yeah,
not
good
like
point, good
they're not a
point.
one-trick pony where you can just lock down that guy.
Yeah, it's not
you
like
know?
Jordan Henderson, who what's your, I love your expression, that motherfucker can score in a woman's prison with a fistful of pardons.
Yeah, yep.
Right. It's
Jordan
not like-
Henderson would fall into a barrel of titties and suck his thumb coming out.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
if
just-
it was raining pussy, Jordan Henderson would catch one with a big old dick in it.
But like, because was it last year that we
Sorry, parents.
yes, because this is a family podcast. No, but like we played City either last year or the year before, and we had 2 dudes just put Aguero on lockdown.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we ended up being competitive in that game.
And and sorry to cut you out there, but like
But again, that was like a 30-year-old Aguero too.
But my point is, you can't do that with Liverpool because they have 3 or 4 guys
Yeah,
that can
because
just lay waste to you.
exactly.
because even if Mane, or sorry, if Salah, it's not like Salah. I felt like we had him.
I feel like we had him locked up.
Yeah.
Tavares had him locked up for the
But
most
then
part.
Diego Jota fucked us up. I mean, that's just the way it goes with them.
And that's precisely it. Is that
They got too many really, really good players.
Yes.
whereas you look at our squad and you go,
I mean, if ESR and Saka have an off day, we don't win.
Yeah, that's
That's just
true.
the way it is. If they
And-
both have an
Meanwhile,
off day together,
Liverpool, Salah is probably going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And they have, but if you shut down Salah, they have a player the quality of Sadio Mane. That's there, and you're like,
That
that's
fills
just
the
not
void.
fair.
That fills the
or a
void,
player
yeah.
the quality of Jota there, and you're like, that's not fair.
And then you
we
get Firmino waiting when
bricked
he's
up
back
the
healthy,
the Ballon d'Or guy,
Yeah.
but you have a player that's like, we bricked up the Ballon d'Or like front runner, but then you have another player that's like 6th on the fucking Ballon d'Or. It's like
Right.
it's not fair, man.
Right. And that's
It's
just
not
it.
fair.
like you have to like, and yeah, West Ham, took Liverpool to task, but like you have to play such a perfect game, and they have to have such an off game at the same time.
Yeah,
That's just
the planets and the stars and cosmos and
Right.
everything aligned just right
Mercury
for West Ham
retrograde,
to do
you
that.
know.
And West Ham won't do that to Liverpool at their house for another 100 years.
yeah.
And I believe that West Ham is going to be really good going forward, especially if they can keep hold of Declan Rice and the Czechoslovakian players they have, or the Czech players that they have. Czechoslovakia is not a place anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the
Not
Czech
as of
Republic.
1968.
It is the Czech Republic.
Czechoslovakia.
But still, the planets and stars had to align. West Ham had to play the best game that they've played in 2 years, and Liverpool had to play the worst game they've played in 2 years in order for that result
Right.
to happen.
and by
so
the way,
that's
and
just
by
a-
the way, drinks to the West Ham fans.
Yes.
because we are still the
Cheers
only
to the Hammers.
We're the only undefeated team in the history of
Cheers
the
to the
Premier League.
Hammers.
So while we're talking about West Ham, I guess since I've run out of notes anyway, let's kind of go around the league a little bit. I mean, some surprising results today.
Yes,
to say
West
the
Ham is still
least.
ahead of us by 3 points.
Well, they are fantastic.
They're really, really good this
They're
year.
really good.
Fornals, such a good player.
Fornals, Jared Bowen. This guy is so underrated. So my previous, like, every year I choose like a most underrated player of the league. And at first, so like based on the first, quarter or third of the league, my player was John McGinn from Aston Villa. And I might be switching it towards the end of the season. It might be Jared Bowen from West Ham. This guy is so damn underrated. It's not even funny. You know what I mean? Yes, West Ham have Antonio. We know how good and versatile he is. Yes, they have Declan Rice. We know how good he is. Yes, they have Fabianski. We know him. He was a former Arsenal player. He's been like a top 5 keeper in the league for
Souček,
7 years. And they have the Souček and Soufal, the Czech players. And we know how good those guys are. But guys like Jared Bowen, Fornals, I really like Fornals. Antonio, I posed a question to the group earlier today. I saw an interesting thread on Reddit that said, if you could have any 11 made up of like one player, so like 11 Contes or 11 Harry Kanes or 11 Pogbas.
What team is going to
What team would win the Champions League? And I was like, man, 11 Mikel Antonios. The guy can play like 9 different positions.
I mean, I went
He's
Conte,
big.
but
He's stronger
the
than
size
cat
of him
piss.
is-
He's fast. He can finish. He can defend. He's played everywhere from right back to striker for that West Ham
That
team.
N'Golo Conte to the goal
Yeah,
today.
that was
And
And N'Golo Conte scored an
Are we
insane
supposed
goal
to
with his
say-
left foot today.
Are we supposed to say N'Golo? Like this guy pronounced it N'Golo, And
That's nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
That is because when he said that, maybe that's what it is.
Did my face show up in your mind? When
Yeah,
he said that?
maybe that's what he calls it, but we cannot say that because
yeah.
the Kanye West gif of this.
Yeah, no, it is not.
Or the gif of Mourinho going throwing off his headphones. That's what I.
No,
that's what I saw.
you will never catch me pronouncing his name that way.
And I think
Whenever it's in apostrophe, it's in.
Yeah,
and I think
Ngolo.
we're all massive fans of his. So
Yeah.
he
Best at his position in the world, I would say.
He doesn't score a lot of goals, and I didn't know that he had that in his locker.
Yeah.
That just
And-
reafirms how good he is.
Yes, he is.
Best in his position. Maybe I think they may be an argument for Casemiro, but other than those two, those two are the best in their position in the world, I think.
I'm a huge admirer of people that are humble, and Conte is so
Oh,
humble.
he's like the most humble guy you ever knew.
And Conte probably, I haven't seen him where he played in some of the other leagues, but he probably was banging in just 40-yard screamers. And then he gets to England, it's like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Because I have, he's our size. He's like 5'7", maybe.
If he never scored, 5'9", fuck right up.
5'11".
Whatever.
Okay, but
when your hair is 3 or 4 inches, you're 5'11".
No,
Okay.
the hair makes me 6 foot.
Either way, when Conte, if Conte never scored another goal for the rest of his career, he'd still be $100 million pound player.
Exactly.
He's that good at his position and what he does.
He does. There are people out there that can only appreciate. Thank you very much. They can only appreciate certain parts of the game. Conte has. I don't even know how to describe it. He has the engine of 100 race cars.
Yeah.
He has.
He has
vision.
3 lungs.
Yeah. He's so positive. He doesn't. When players get into those handbag situations, he doesn't participate in that.
Yeah.
And he can walk into any starting 11
in the world, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any starting 11
And
on the
displace.
face
The
of
only
earth.
argument, I think, is if he tried to walk into Real Madrid and take Casemiro's spot. Then I think it'd be an argument. He might even still get it, but it wouldn't be like a given.
Yeah.
If you had 11 Contes on the team, you'd have approximately 33 lungs on that team.
What about a team of 11 Douglas Luizes from Aston Villa? Because I think Douglas Luiz.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough at finishing.
A football game.
Okay.
It's not, he's good at defending. He's decent in midfield. It's not good enough at finishing. I would rather have a team of 11 James Milnerses.
Oh,
Scott's fucking with us.
Yes.
yeah.
Scott Field's fucking with us. I'd rather have a team of 11 James Milners, a team of 11 prime Fernandinhos, a team of 11 Antonios. I would rather have a team of 11 Declan Rices. A team of 11 Contes. And you could argue that a team of 11 Contes just on height, that might not work. But then again, if you watch N'Golo Kante, players that are 6 inches taller than him, he routinely wins headers against those people. So I'm not even sure if that's a sound argument. No. Kante is a strong answer to that question. And it's one that I very much respect. If we're talking about current and active Premier League players, because if we were talking about
all-time, it's Vieira.
All-time, I think all of us would say Vieira, because Vieira could do everything.
Yeah.
He could play center back. If his position was center back, he'd be one of the top 5 in the league. If his position was midfield, he was one of the top 5 in the league. If he was a striker, he'd be one of the top 5 in the league. He could do everything.
Cross book, John Cross said he asked Arsene Wenger who's the best player he ever managed. And he managed the best. He managed Wright, he managed Bergkamp, he managed
Henry.
Yeah.
all of them. And he said Vieira.
Yeah.
Vieira can do it all.
He could do everything. Like Henry, we love Henry, but Henry was no defender. You know what I mean?
No.
Right. And he also, when he left, unfortunately, I think the team started to excel a little bit because we finally saw some other players stepping up.
And we weren't trying to force the ball to Henry.
Right.
Always.
Every play was give it to him, give it to him, give it to him.
Yeah.
And we had things on the horizon. We were already talking about the new stadium, or we had already built the new stadium, I think, when he left, because he left in 2006, right? So I think we'd already built the new stadium. So we had some exciting things on the horizon, but yeah, I know Tom was particularly upset when he left.
Well, but circling back around to Antonio and West Ham, I mean, like as good as they've been and as strong as they are, they lose
3
1-0.
points ahead of us.
But
They're
they
3
lose
points ahead of us.
lose today 1-0 to Wolves.
Yeah.
Who have been kind of floundering. And you look at, I think
if we played Wolves today, we win. We came up against a Liverpool team that is truly elite.
And that's not.
And
I don't mean to
their
say
win
that as
took them to second today.
Right, and I don't mean to say that as a knock on West Ham.
Sure.
I think that's just the way the league is right now. Is that like anybody and everybody is losing to anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
So you look at what we did today, and is it what we wanted? No. Is it what we expected? Most of us probably no.
Yeah.
But it happens on. It'll happen. I mean, and then you look at Man United. I mean, we're all in because here they are. Just completely looking like abject garbage.
Yeah.
And there's an emergency meeting. He's probably going to get sacked today.
I think he's going to get sacked today or maybe early tomorrow morning. But
I mean, he's got to get sacked. There's no
Zinedine Zidane is waiting in the wings, and he's already coached Ronaldo. He's already coached Varane. I think he's looking forward to coaching those guys again. And I think maybe before we all go to work on Monday morning, we might be saying, "Hey, Zinedine Zidane is the new manager of Manchester United."
Yeah, and that certainly seems possible. But like. And I say Wolves have been kind of struggling. I mean, they are sixth, so they've righted the ship a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just there's been a lot of teams up and down. I mean, you looked at Brighton was third and fourth for a while. They're back down in eighth. I mean, obviously they're not a third or fourth place team, but they were there. Tottenham was top of the league. They're sitting 10th now.
They're sitting 10th now. Going back to Brighton, they have really good fullbacks, actually.
No.
And really good center backs. I was watching the day, and I was like, they have good fullbacks. They have good center backs. To put it in perspective, we, in our fixed defense, we've given up 17 goals, and Brighton has given up 14. I think 14 is third in the league, behind Chelsea with
Chelsea's
4,
only given up 4 goals.
Liverpool with 11, and then West Ham,
City's
Brighton,
given up 6.
City's 6. So West Ham, Brighton, and Southampton have all given up 14. So that's fourth in. So that's the fourth best defense in the league.
Yeah.
They have Dunk and Duffy at center back, and I think they might be playing 3 center backs. I forget who the third guy is, but they have Tariq Lamptey and Cucurella at fullback. Their fullbacks are really good, and because I remember before we got Tomiyasu, I was like, we should really be looking at Tariq Lamptey. He's like 5'0". That's like the big knock on him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we should really be looking at. And this Cucurella guy at left back, where the fuck did this guy come from? He's really good.
And he bossed us.
He's really, he balled his ass off against us too. And he almost scored a goal. He had like 3 or 4 shots on target. I think he had an assist that game.
Yeah, he was a man on fire.
He worked us over that game. And I'm like, where did this guy come from?
I think he's got Barcelona.
That
he's got
David
Barcelona's
Luiz hair.
resume somewhere.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because attacking wise, he is real good. I was just talking about how Brighton's defense is actually pretty good. They've given up less goals than we have. Dunk and Duffy as their center backs. I'm sorry?
Sorry, it's Game of Thrones joke. Fewer.
You're probably right. It probably is fewer. I've had some drinks.
When I saw that we were going to get someone from Brighton, I was like, yeah, Lewis Dunk. Like, that guy is solid.
Or Yves Bissouma, and we got Ben White. But I like Ben White, and he is the archetype. He fits the archetype. And he is the player that we want. The player from the back.
Apparently Arteta insisted on him.
Yeah.
And I thought he was really, really good today. Apart from, there were 2 moments. There was a slide tackle that he did the slide tackle, then Aaron Ramsdale.
On Jota.
Yeah,
like against Jota. Yeah.
I mean, that whole goal.
That thing. I don't mind
that. That goal was just. You know what that goal was? It was honestly like the commercial for like the auto car wash thing where the guy's carrying the buckets and he's about to trip. Like everything just fell apart like in sequence on that goal.
I think it was Tavares' mistake combined with Jota's brilliance.
Yeah, and then everybody else is gonna fall over.
Because a lot of strikers would fuck that up with everybody sliding at them. But Jota, he is that composed. And again, I keep saying it. The league and just fandom in general is not giving that dude enough credit for how good he is because he came from Wolves. I don't care that he came from Wolves. He's one of the best players in the league.
I mean, Wolves were
they finished
good. What, 5th or 6th a couple years ago?
Yeah,
I mean,
they
were not
finished
a bad
in the top 8.
And Jota scores on us. That's a fact.
He scores on us, and he scores on most people.
So,
like you said, almost as many goals as games played. That's about the best you can hope for from a striker.
Benjamin, in the first half, he had a moment, and
now it's my turn.
When Benjamin White dribbled out, and I love that because it tends to work out mostly when he dribbles out of the defense.
Yeah.
And I love that because a lot of defenders don't do that anymore. And it normally works, but against Liverpool, you don't do that. And in the first half, he dribbled out, and I think 3 of theirs collapsed on him, and the ball was given away. And I don't think they scored, but it was just bad.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's what elite teams will do to you. You know, like because at the same time, you know, we by that point we had so many I don't want to say panic clearances, but just send it deeps. To where I can understand as the defender, you're like, look, damn it, I'm tired of just launching it to, you know, midfield, and then they pick it back up again, and we're going to be under siege in another 10 seconds. Like, you're going to want to try to make something of it and try to just like, look, I can dribble past these guys, I can make the, but you can't. But it's natural that you're going to want to think that because you can't just keep booting it long for forever because you know nothing's going to come of it. So eventually, you're going to have to try to make something from your end, and if you fail, you fail. But like if you didn't try, then you're never going to score.
Yeah, we needed to be inventive today. There's no question about that. We needed to be inventive.
Yeah.
And what sucks is we were really, really good in the first half, and in the second half, I think Liverpool were just they knew they had us because they were pressing us. They weren't trying as much. They started to do the old passing around in a half circle formation.
Yeah.
And oh man,
they were pressing relentlessly from the beginning, and we did a great job of handling it for the first like 30, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I think that at that point, like eventually, you know, with so many elite players and such intense pressure, like you're just gonna break down if you can't score one. You know, if we'd have nicked one in the first like 20, 30 minutes, then I think the whole composure, you know, we might still end up losing, but it might be 2-1. And, you know, at that point, like you're going to have to try something, and they're going to force their way through.
Yeah, it's today's disappointment is we look so good early.
Yeah,
and it's. Sometimes you lose, and you just know for some opening moments. And I was kind of expecting that today. Was that I thought we were going to get battered from the first minute.
Oh, see, I did.
And Ramsdale was forced into a lot of saves, and I know we poked the ball away a lot, and we blocked some shots and all that, and we looked really, really good, but. And it was obvious in the second half. Those were no longer there. They have now moved past that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was no longer those type of goal attempts. It was the standard attempts that they would get against someone like Crystal Palace or Reading,
like Southampton or something.
Yeah, relegation fodder, and that's what was frustrating was. And I know I targeted Nuno Tavares, but I thought Nuno Tavares, his last 30 minutes of the game, had an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, and you know, I think that to me, that's just kind of like that's the next step, right? Is like, look, I feel like last year, like you say, we show up and expected this game is going to end poorly. Now that we came in and people are saying, oh, we might actually get points out of this, you know? And I think the next step is playing the full 90 like we did the first 45.
Right. What does it take? What does it take to hold on to that?
I tweeted earlier that from the Richmond Gooners account saying that, listen, they scored their second or third goal, and it was like, listen, we haven't played badly today, but, you know, it still is frustrating. But I think in these moments we need to remember that we are in the middle of a rebuild.
Right, and I think...
And you know, we went 8 or 9 or whatever it was unbeaten, and that was really good, but we weren't going to go the rest of the season unbeaten.
No, and I think, honestly, what it takes is finishing. You know, like that's what we've been lacking all year, and, you know, kind of what I was touching on earlier, like if we score one in the first half, you know, they're still going to come and press us relentlessly.
Yeah.
But we know we would have known we can score on them.
And then that would have given us more confidence.
You know, and so all it takes is for ESR to finish a run and to score on that one breakaway, or you know, for Saka to dribble through a couple of guys.
Kid, but today, when he was pushed out wide, I was not impressed. I was not impressed with ESR today. I don't know what. If he was tired, if he was
I don't think he got enough of the ball.
Interested.
He didn't get enough of the ball, and he was actually being denied the ball, in my opinion.
I mean, a lot of why everyone looked bad today is just that Liverpool was better.
Yeah.
But
they still are.
Are the Liverpudlians really going to claim credit that ESR didn't do well because they marked him out of the game? I mean, they had Robertson was out, so I can't even pronounce this guy's name, like Tzatziki or whatever.
That is a sauce.
Simicus.
I know it's a sauce. But
Emil Smith-Rowe was playing on the left, and he was being marked by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's one of the best right backs in the world.
Yeah.
And also...
who delivered the goal that broke us.
Yeah. And also, Fabinho was helping out on that side, and Salah was tracking back. So I'm not going to say that that's 100% of the thing, but they clearly identified him as a danger man.
Yeah.
They actually let Saka have more of the ball. So their tactics were, when Saka gets the ball, be physical with him and foul him, and just try not to let Emil Smith-Rowe get the ball to begin with. And I think that was their tactics.
And the problem is that we don't have a third and fourth guy laying there. That
right.
Can,
like Liverpool does.
Like Liverpool does, exactly. Like if you shut those dudes down, we're not going to have a good day. That's where we are as a team right now.
And the funny thing is, so a few years ago we had a leaky defense, and it was like, we need to fix our defense. We got the strikers, and we got Aubameyang, we got Lacazette, and they're banging in goals. And then by the time we fix the defense, then the strikers are in a slump.
Yeah.
So now we have to fix that, and maybe by the time we fix that, the defense might be in a slump again. And it seems like this never-ending cycle
I don't
almost.
think so, because the defense
is so young and has such high potential now.
We have guys that aren't even on the team right now.
Yeah.
To play. I mean, Saliba, if he ever comes in.
Yeah, Saliba. We still have
Tierney hasn't played much, and he's still here.
Yeah, and we still have Mavropanos on the books.
Yeah.
We still have Holding, who I don't believe we are a competitive team with him as a starter, but he's a very high-quality backup.
Right. It's I don't see our defense regressing.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of fixing ourselves going forward.
Yeah, because year over year we were doing that, but we were buying old guys like David Luiz who only had a couple years left. So that's why we would kind of regress after a while. But I think we've gone young.
Yes.
So Gabriel is 24, 25. Ben White is 23. So we've gone young. Tierney's 24. Tomiyasu's young, 23. So I think we've gone young. Ramsdale's young. So I think we've gone to a point where we can keep this defense for a while. If they continue to progress as they've been progressing. So now, hopefully, the idea is if we now fix the attack, the defense won't have turned over by that point.
And I think that's a perfectly plausible thing to have happen. Whether it's Sterling or not, I don't know. But there's
I think he will bring goals.
Well, but I don't know if
Arteta,
I mean, do we get him or not? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they're
fair, sorry.
I feel like they've done enough to fix the defense that gives me faith in them to fix the attack.
Think about this: we've given up 17 goals this season. In the first 3 games, we gave up 9 goals.
Right.
So that means in the following 9 games, that means we've given up 8 goals.
Well, I think we're 6-1-2 since Ramsdale took over as the starting keeper.
Yeah.
So, we're obviously going the right direction. It's just we're not quite there yet. I mean, that's all it is. Like, our Liverpool is who they are now, and we are who we are now. But I think we're going in the right direction.
I thought we only lost 1. I thought this was our first loss in the league since Ramsdale.
Yeah. Or 6-1-2. I'm sorry. Yeah.
6-2-1. You mean?
I thought it was whatever.
Win, draw, loss.
Oh.
Yeah.
6-2.
Okay, I got you.
I forget how it's laid out, but in any case, 6-2-1. I think we're going in the right direction. Looking forward, man, why does the Premier League and TV hate us? We have
the
3
schedule,
out of the next
man.
4 games are on weekdays.
What on earth?
I just, first of all, I get that you're trying to get fixtures in and whatever, but what are we doing all these Tuesdays and Thursdays this early in the year? Number one.
I think Tom said it in our WhatsApp chat the best. He, what did you say?
You're like, they're not getting any advertising that day. Let's bring Arsenal.
Let's bring Arsenal on, and we were expecting. Okay, the one bright spot, the one silver lining in this cloud is that we're going to get 10 a.m. Saturday kickoffs most of the time. And what have we gotten the least of? 10 a.m. Saturday kickoffs.
I mean, let's
what is the reason?
We got a Saturday at 7:30.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, Saturday at 7:30, Thursday afternoon. And then we got another, I believe that's Tuesday afternoon, and then we got finally at 10 a.m., and then another Thursday afternoon. And it's just like...
They have board meetings, and they decide that the viewership comes from Asia, South America, whatever. And we all had this massive wish that, we don't have Europe. Give us every Saturday, over there, 3 p.m. for us.
So at least we can develop some sort of routine.
And then the fucking league, and what I see, and here's what bothers me the most, is I know a lot of these people, is that you have a Thursday kickoff in Manchester, and it's like the game kicks off at 8:30. and the last train out of Manchester, you have to cut out of the game. You have to leave the game early
If you want to catch public
to
transport
go home
Yeah.
to London.
Yeah, and like so that's the thing. It's like forget about us U.S. fans. The fucking people
Yes,
over
and
there
some
can't
oxygen thief. There's a room full of oxygen thief. Sky people that are just going, what do we care about the 5,000 Arsenal fans that go away versus
Yep.
and that really sucks and that'll bring me to a tangent that, man, we had a packed house here today. I loved it.
Yeah.
We had so many people here today. Being part of Richmond Gooners is you come here because watching from home is boring.
Yep.
And that's where I sympathize with the people over there that if I lived in London, yeah, I would probably have a connection and want to go to Manchester. And it stinks because you want to go to Manchester on Saturday, but now you can't. You got to go to your boss and not only get time off for it, you got to get a train or some sort of transport. Now you have a hotel. And
So you're eliminating income, and also you're spending extra money.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, and if you have a family, we're talking about who's going to pick up the kid, and
Yeah.
XYZ, and the Sky people who are sitting there in their whatever. I don't want to use
In their
any-
boardroom or whatever.
Yeah, and they don't care. They don't care because they know, like, well, there's 200,000 people in Taipei or whatever, and not to say anything negative about them, but it just really sucks for the people
It really
that are
does.
from London, that because when Arsenal sucks, all the Taipei people are they going to be there?
Yeah.
Are they going to switch their?
They're gonna pull their city jerseys out of the closet.
Right.
Speaking of board meetings in a more lighthearted manner, I know somebody else that had a board meeting today, and that's
United's
Man
having
United.
one literally right now
As we
Fire
speak.
that up, Yes.
And don't know. Like I said earlier, don't know if we're gonna wake up on Monday morning with the same manager managing Man United.
And we're going to see them in just over a couple of weeks, under a couple of weeks, the 2nd of December. So that's And to Tom's point, you know that is a lot of our
They will
favorite
probably
fixture
have a-
is United away.
Yeah,
they're
they'll
going to
probably
have a different coach though.
probably have a legendary bald Frenchman at the helm.
I really don't see Zidane going there. I really.
It
I
seems
do.
weird. I mean, I see your
I
point
do,
about the
'cause
Ronaldo connection.
the
but it just
Ronaldo
seems-
and the Varane connection too, and he famously really enjoyed coaching both.
But man, that dude he just smells of I coach in Spain. You know, like I just don't see him coming to Manchester. You know, it's just,
He smells of I coach Real Madrid. If he doesn't coach Real Madrid, he ain't gonna coach anywhere else in Spain. I would say he would go back to France. He speaks like 5 languages or something like that too.
it's not a matter of like a cultural disconnect. It just he doesn't seem like a Manchester, Northwest England
Right.
guy to me.
I think that's my thing is I don't know, and who knows?
I'd be willing to put money on that. If Ollie gets fired, I'd be willing to put money that Zidane is named their manager within 48 hours of that.
God, that is.
It might have happened already. Let me just.
To your point, you don't fire a guy midseason unless you know what you're going to do. You know.
Yeah. I don't think you fire midseason and say, okay, now we start the search.
I honestly don't want to give that club any minutes on this recording. I'm looking over here and how.
As I sit underneath the giant Ronaldo poster.
You know, I say we chased him out, and what they're going to say is that, well, you didn't chase us out, but there were so many of us that they said we don't want to come here anymore. It wasn't like me and Joey Chapman came in here and whatever.
Fought everyone one-on-one.
Right, but we did it the fair way, and that's what I want to talk about. So
Sky Sports. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Who's the next Man United manager going to be? Krusty the fucking clown.
Well, speaking of a clown show, next week we have Newcastle, and they're trying to get Eddie Howe in there to get stuff in order, but it may or may not work. So hopefully we can.
He has COVID.
Oh well, there. Who has Zidane has COVID?
No, Eddie Howe has COVID.
Well,
it was
all right.
announced this morning.
Well, then it's an extreme clown show.
Yeah.
So hopefully
he's still the coach, but
he's still the coach, but he's got COVID. So I mean, I feel good about skipping points next week. It's going to be an early morning Saturday, but we hope to see you here at Gus's Bar and Grill. Until then, I am Ryan. That is Tom.
See you.
And that is Joey.
we out.
Later, y'all.